So, Anna, thank you for joining me today on a talk on the real you. We've got something called Beginner's Mind, and part of that is a bit on meditation. As I think, sort of, if we don't sort of grab hold of our mind mindfully, which can be helped by meditation, well, I believe so anyway. So we've done quite a bit on that, but I wanted to have a section where people could understand it from another person's point of view, and maybe from somebody that just has more experience certainly than I do. I know I do some meditation, but I don't know exactly the sort of theory wise and things like that. And I know, having spoken to you for quite some time lately, that you've had quite an experience with meditation. You've been on a retreat, etc. So could you just give me your background on meditation and why you do it and how that came about for you?
Yes, Clinton. Hi. Well, what happened was I was living in Liverpool. I'd moved to the city, and I found myself doing quite a lot of different jobs. They were fun, but I was quite, it was fast paced, and I was running about here, there and everywhere. And I was working in a club as well, and I found myself on the weekends taking recreational drugs. And I think back now what I was looking for and why I was doing that. And one, I was probably trying to run away from my worries and things that had happened in childhood, because I just didn't really want to face up to them. And two, I was searching for a feeling, a specific feeling. I feel like it might be connectedness and just being a part of something bigger and having a bit of an importance, really, a purpose. So I remember kind of chasing this kind of feeling. I think I felt very, very connected one time. I felt like almost like a connection to God. And I felt this connection to God, and it kind of, I wanted more of that. I wanted more of a connection to something higher. And so that's why I was taking the drugs more and more often, to kind of get that same connection again. Then I became very addicted. I was taking it very often, and it was just very unpleasant for my life. It was affecting everything. And I just thought to myself, I feel like my mind can do this. I just had this inner, like, kind of knowing that from hearing about what meditation is, I kind of felt I'm going to have a go at that. I feel like this could be something. So a friend of mine said to me, try this retreat, you'll love it. And I was like, okay. It was a very intense meditation, 10-day Vipassana retreat. So I was fully immersed in meditation for 10 days, silence as well. And this kind of knocked the kind of addiction out of me and helped me connect to myself. I worked through a lot of trauma. I realized that emotions from the past can be trapped on the body, and they can show up in like pain, ailments, dis-ease. So I realized that meditation can work through that and can let go of that trapped emotion that was trapped in my body. So during the retreat, I worked through a lot of pain, and I came out feeling so much better. It changed my lifestyle completely. And so then I found the importance and the worth of meditation. And now I try and do it twice a day, and it's like my medicine. It's like brushing my teeth. It's something I have to do and keep on top of every single day. And it just helps with the flow of my life. It helps the clarity of my mind when I'm making decisions. It helps my pain. It helps so many different things. It's amazing.
So why do you think it helps? And have you got any evidence of that? And is there a theory behind it at all?
From my personal experience, I really, really know that emotions are trapped on the body, and until we turn our attention from looking outwards for for a fix. So this can be alcohol, drugs, this can be sex, this can be distractions, buying clothes, lots of clothes. They give me a buzz, they make me feel happy, and I want that happy feeling. So something else can give that to me. Whereas when you meditate, you turn your attention inwards and you have a look what's going on for you. And I found a way to kind of disintegrate kind of my emotional traumas. It was looking inwards, being present with what I was feeling, the pain that I was feeling at the time, and allowing a kind of idea as to why that pain was there. So it would show up kind of like an idea. Say, for example, my dad would pop into my mind, and then I'd think to myself, am I okay with that? Am I at peace with that? And no, I wouldn't be. There'd be aspects. So then I would forgive myself, forgive him, forgive the situation. And I noticed that there was a disintegration of the pain, and it would disappear. So that's the self-healing side. On the other side, I had a lot of anxiety. I had depression really bad for over 10 years, much longer. I was on antidepressants for like 10 years, and I was kind of masking everything. Meditation helps you work through things. It helps you deal with the very present moment. So like crisis, so you can have breathing techniques that really center you. It's just amazing for so many different things, and I've personally experienced that, and a lot of my friends have too.
Sounds awesome. So, the sort of, from my experiences when I've done meditation, that one of the things that I struggle with is remembering, and then two is actually, you know, when I'm thinking everything's fine and dandy, I think, well, I don't need to. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and you know, since you said that, I did laugh, because that's what can happen, isn't it? You think, oh, I'm sorted now. I don't need to continue doing it. But I suppose it's almost like brushing your teeth, isn't it? You know, they look clean now. Just stop. You know,
You wouldn't, would you?
No. And I'd say it's because we are taking in things every single day through our sensory doors, you know. You might watch a violent film. That's going inside your body. You are ingesting that, and you might get some anxiety. You might have some belief that could happen to you, what happened in the film. So it is important to daily do this. And I'm not talking forever, you know, like for hours, just 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night, breathing, taking the breath in the body, sitting, being present. And it's something that you really, you know, you can incorporate. I'd say another tip is make a nice space for yourself, you know, put a cushion out or a chair in a place in the house, and that is your place you go to meditate. And that really helps build a habit.
Yeah, I sort of, when I sort of get out of the habit and think, you know, even think of why should I even bother, the main sort of thing that I come across is that we are so subject to external. You talked a bit about internal before, which I really love, and most of the first talk on the Real You is about the internal versus the external. But what I wanted to sort of say there is that we are constantly bombarded with external information, as well as everything else. And for me, I sort of look at it as a little bit like a computer that needs to have a moment of defragging, you know, even switching it off and rebooting it. And I think at this moment in time, we're in this sort of state of lockdown and different things. And, you know, part of what I talk about is resetting. And I think for me, meditation would be a part of how to reset that switch, and to also stop this dripping tap of you know, of all this information that we're going. So I would sort of say, you know, that it's a moment to sort of turn off the tap of this information and actually sort of think of what is actually real. Not so long ago, I had an experience of just having, you know, an okay day, and then two things happened very, very quickly. within sort of 10-20 minutes of each other, which really kind of, I would say, had the opportunity, it had the choice of, or chance of ruining that day. And so what I did is spent a few minutes breathing and actually sort of just centering myself, and then thought, well, what can I do about this today, in a sense? And then I just thought, well, do you know what? First off, I need to breathe and get perspective. And then I went out for a bike ride. So what it did then is it changed my mind frame very, very quickly by just having that, like you said, about centering yourself, really. So that's when I kind of look at it, as kind of like a bit of a defragging. Does that make any sense?
I love that. Yeah. I really, I love the visual of that. Yeah. It reminds me of childhood, waiting for the computer to kind of defrag. And it was quite a fun thing to do. Everything would be discombobulated, loads of different colors. And then by the end of it, it would all be in a nice order with a big bit of space there, which was clear. And, I would say that is quite similar to how meditation works. It's kind of giving yourself time to kind of get things in order, make space. So if all these things are going through your mind, they're all in there, aren't they? That's why people do reflection as well, because you can get what's in your mind out onto the paper and see it in a kind of order. But if it's all in your mind, all these things going around, and something challenging has happened, it is unpleasant. And you're not only thinking about it, you're getting sensations of the body, like, I don't like this. This is not the plan of today. This is ruining my day. So it's kind of like this. But when you sit and breathe, you can just change your perspective. You can see that as separate. So this happened 5 minutes ago. Say this happened over here 5 minutes ago. Right now, I am sat here. I am safe. I have my body. I have my breath. I am alive. I've got my family. Everyone is healthy. This thing has happened and is maybe still happening. But the truth of the moment is that I'm safe. And that's beautifully, how you described that you sort of going for a bike ride. Great, amazing. You looked at another option to bring more clarity and get the blood pumping. Exercise is amazing to just get everything moving around the body. Really move, get the blood flowing around the body, and give you some new ideas to cope with that situation. So meditation is amazing for making space to help you make better decisions to support you with difficult times. Amazing.
That's awesome. Thank you. I think sort of very quickly, I know we've been talked about this, because we've got a passion about this, so we can talk about it probably all day. But one of the things I was thinking there is that, if you're a first timer to any of this and you're thinking, what a load of nonsense, all I've heard about sort of meditation is cross-legged and putting your fingers together and making a hum noise or whatever. Would you say there's different ways of doing that? That does that have to be the stereotypical view?
Not at all. You can just call it breathing exercises. There's apps that support you. Literally, it doesn't have to be any religion. It doesn't have to be following spirituality. It can literally be a physical exercise of taking breath in the body, sitting with your back straight. And it's important for your back to be straight. That is one thing. That's probably why people sit cross-legged. But you can do it in a chair.
Okay.
Because the brain is on the spine. It's important that the blood and everything is moving as freely as possible from the brain and down the spinal cord, and everything is moving freely. So you have the best flow that you can have from the top of your head to the bottom of your spine. And then the breath, just inviting the breath in. It's as simple as that. There's so many things on YouTube that are supportive, guided meditations when you're first starting out. Amazing. Just simple apps where there's a bubble that gets bigger, so you'd breathe so you can breathe with those apps. It's so accessible these days, and you know, I can do guided meditations. I do ones in person. I was doing before the lockdown. They can be, you can search whatever you like, so you can have music, you can have a male voice, female voice. There's so many different options that can really be personal to you, as opposed to the cross-legged way of doing it.
Brilliant. Well, we'll probably bring that to a close, but I think sort of one of the things that I'd like to just say is that this is something that we want to try and do locally. So if people are listening to this and you're in the borough of Conway, then I know that we'll share some links about how to access you and what you do. I want to just people to know that, you know, we are on a mission. I think we've spoken about this quite a lot. I mean, our main mission is to get people happier within themselves. You know, the Real You project is called The Real You. So what we want is to people to get to their authentic sort of real selves. So we believe that part of that is to sort of dilute sort of some of the things that are harmful for us and get in our way of being real versions of ourselves. So this is something very local. This is something very accessible. This is not somebody talking from the other side of the world saying, you know, this is what you should do. And it's very hard, I think, to relate to people when it's, you know, in another country, let's say. So it's local, you're accessible. We'll share some links on that. And hopefully in the next sort of coming weeks and months, that I know that we'd really love to be in the same room and actually sort of have a sort of maybe a live stream on talking about the meditation as a whole. So thanks so much today for joining us and doing this. It's absolutely amazing what you're doing.
Oh, thank you, and you too. It's really nice to be able to work with someone that's got similar drive and passion about bringing the best out of people. So yeah, that's really awesome. Really grateful. Thank you.